Well, hey there. I'm not a native speaker. Um, I'm just here for practice. To start with, I want to talk about this book, um, Across Cultures by Elizabeth Sharman. I think it is very interesting because it talks about culture, literature, music, and language. Um, I just saw a few pages of this book. It seems interesting, so let's see. The first unit, or the first model, um, it's called Everyday Life. It talks about everyday routines in the UK and the USA, homes in the UK and the USA, modern families in the UK, USA, and Australia, food shopping in the UK and USA, leisure time in USA, yes, and everyday life for a teenager in South Africa. It starts with two different questions. Um, what do you know about homes, schools, and food in those countries, and how are they different to life in your own country? Well, it talks about home swap. I don't know what it is, but let's see. Our home swap, um, I think I am pronouncing well, I'm not sure. This month concentrates on the King family from England and the Miller family from South Carolina, USA. As usual, our families have a 2 week holiday in each other's houses, and we interview with them at the end of the stay. So, how did they cope, the Millers? Okay, I think that it's yeah, the surname of the family. George and Sandy Miller and their children, Helen and Daniel, had a shock when they first saw the King's three-bedroom terraced house in Colchester. "It's so small," said Sandy. "Where will we all sleep?" But inside, the house was more welcoming. "It's bigger than it looks from the outside, and we are pleased to find that there were 3 bedrooms," said George. Well, um, this is my comment, but is it matter if it's big or not, the house? I don't know. Let's see. Um, but the kids weren't impressed. Mom and Dad's room was okay, but our bedrooms were really small, complained Daniel. Well, what the issue, right? The Millers found it difficult to live in a house with only one bathroom. Oh my god, what a nightmare. At home, they have two bathrooms and three toilets. Well, the paradise, right? And we have a study where we keep the computer and playroom in the basement, said Helen. In Gloucester, we had to all stay in the living room together or to go our bedrooms. So was there anything positive about the experience? The house was beautifully decorated, said Sandy, and it was very cozy. It was April when we stayed in the house, but the weather was terrible. We were very grateful for the carpets, the central heating, and a real fire in the living room. Yeah. Another good point for George was the garden. We were very surprised by the large, long garden at the back of the house. Well, I think the material issues it's very important for these people. Yeah. We couldn't really enjoy it because of the weather, but it was obvious that the Kins, yeah, I think so, had put a lot of work into it. It was well designed and full of beautiful plants and flowers. Well, I like this type of garden, so um, I kind of agree with it. Actually, I think British people have a bit of an obsession with houses and gardens. Yeah, in general, yeah. If they have the economic possibility, well, who doesn't want a big house and a beautiful garden, right? There are so many TV programs about them. So here's the other family, the Kins. Tim and Katie Kin and their children, Bethany, Charles, and Joe, couldn't believe their luck when they arrived at Washington Drive, Greenville. The houses were all enormous, said Tim. I expected to see film stars coming out of them. Well, oh my god. I mean, that is the stereotype that we have, right? Film stars, big houses, yeah. The Miller's house was, the Miller's house was, has 5 bedrooms, a study, 2 bathrooms, and an extra downstairs toilet. It's kind of a comparison, right? A comparison between these two houses. Well, I don't like any kind of comparisons, but right, we keep on reading. Our bedroom was huge, and it was lovely having an ensuite. Je pense que c'est français, oui. I think it's French. Yeah. Ensuite. So English took this word from French, I think, said Katy. It was like staying in a hotel. We didn't see much of the children for 2 weeks, says Tim. They were either in the computer room, in the basement, or outdoors. The weather was fine for the king's visit to South Carolina, and so they made good use of the Miller's yard. The Millers had sports equipment and a permanent barbecue in their yard, said Joe. And their neighbors had a swimming pool, which we used once. It was great. The children really enjoyed the short, said Katie. Katie or Katie Mayana. But I found it a bit dull. Dull? Okay. I like nice English gardens with lots of flowers. All the Milders had were a few trees. And Katie didn't think much of the decor either. It was all very smart and clean, she said, but it wasn't very colorful. It's obvious that Americans spend more time outdoors than the British. We had good weather, but luckily we didn't need to use the air conditioning system. The Millers had lots of security systems and alarms that we had to fiddle with every night and morning. That was complicated enough. So let's see, because I just found some interesting vocabulary to be impressed. Well, you know what that means, right? To be to have a positive reaction, to be impressed. I'm impressed. What are you doing right now? Yeah, I'm having a positive reaction. To cope, to succeed in doing something difficult. Yeah, to cope, to complain, to protest, I think. Yeah, I think that's the phonetic. Cozy, warm and comfortable. Cozy. Interesting. Dull, plain and boring. Ensuite, bathroom. A bathroom that is attached to a bedroom and not shared with the rest of the house. To fiddle with, to try with difficulty to operate something complicated. Huge. Well, you know what that means, right? Very big. Huge. To raise a house. A house that is joined together with others in a row. Welcoming. Pleasant, making you want to stay. Welcoming. Okay. Yard, the open area around an American house, consisting of lawn, garden, patio, etc. So it says, speaking. Discuss this question with a partner. Well, I will discuss it with myself. Which house sounds nicer to you? The English house or the American one? Well, I think I like a big garden. It's important for me, but mm, despite of that, I think doesn't matter if your house is big or not. What it matters is that it's your house, and I mean home is home. Yeah. Um, would you like to try living in another family's house for 2 weeks? Well, no. How do the Millers and the Kings houses differ from home in your country? Not that much. Yeah, there are a lot of different houses. So think about your ideal home. Yeah, house. No, doesn't matter. How many rooms would it have? Would it be old or new? Well, again, doesn't matter for me. I mean, home sweet home, right? Modern families. Hmm, sounds interesting. What is a traditional family nowadays? Well, I don't like this term. It's like I am starting to hate this book, but well, we keep on reading. With more and more couples choosing not to get married, and with the number of divorces and second marriages increasing, the idea of the traditional family, two married parents, an average of two children, yeah, grandparents living nearby, is rapidly disappearing in some countries. Here are some personal examples and statistics from the English-speaking world. So, wow, interesting. Marriages that end in divorce, well, 50% in the USA, 33% in the UK. Families with only one parent, 25% in the USA, 25% in the UK. Well, these are just some information, all information, because it's not a new book. This one, Across Cultures. Yeah. I want to remember. Across Cultures is the name of the book. So it says, I'm Colum. I live with my parents in Cambridge, in the east of England. We moved here when I was 5 because of that job. But my mom comes from the north of England, and dad comes from Scotland. I got a grandma in Edinburgh and a granddad in Yorkshire. And I got two cousins who live near London because that's where dad's sister and her husband live. We see my cousins about 3 times a year, and we go up to Edinburgh every New Year. But I can't remember when I last saw my granddad in Yorkshire. He always sends me presents for another story, personal experience, I don't know what to say, personal life. My name's Nira, I think, yeah, and I live in Wolverhampton, I don't know how to pronounce it, near Birmingham in England. I live with my parents, my brother and my sister. My grandmother lives next door. My mom was born here in Britain, but my grandmother moved here from India in the 60s when my dad was a little boy. My dad has two sisters, Auntie Sunita and Auntie Rani. Auntie Sunita, I think I am pronouncing it well, I don't know, lives in the same street as us, and Auntie Rani lives in Birmingham, which is only 15 miles away. They are both married, and I have got 5 cousins. We see them almost every week. Someone is always visiting our house, or we go to Birmingham to see them. And 2 years ago, we all went to India to see our family there. Well, now I am reading a legend that says, before you read. But well, now I am reading this. Who do you live with? Do other members of your family live near you, or do you have to travel to see them? Well, interesting. Personal stuff, yeah. So, another story. I'm Ben from Portland, Oregon, and my family is a bit complicated. I got a sister called Ella, but 3 years ago my parents got divorced, and now both of them are remarried. We live with my mom, Julie, and my stepfather, Bob. Bob's got a daughter called Daisy, but she doesn't live with us. She lives with her mom. My father's name is Pete. He and his second wife have just had a little boy, Charles. So I got a new half brother. Their history. My name's Trudy. And I got a sister called Beth. Our mom and dad are divorced, so we live with just our mom in the suburbs of Melbourne, Australia. Our dad has an apartment in the center of the town, and we spend every other weekend there. Yeah. After school every day, we go to our grandma's house and have a meal there. Because our mom doesn't finish work until 6 o'clock. Well, okay. She collects us at 6:30, except on Wednesday evenings when we go swimming with our dad. So well, interesting lives, people. Yeah.